5 minutes to Representative Luetkemeyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the things that I think we are seeing and you've discussed today is the problem with companies trying to deal with this. I know there was an economist in committee here recently, and they had done a small business survey, and 76% of the businesses that were surveyed say they were not going to hire in the next 6 months. And I think, you know, Ms. Walker, you have mentioned in your testimony here something like not hiring workers or limiting working hours. Have you seen this already with your practice, that businesses are starting to limit their hours? And can you give me an idea of the number of businesses you're talking about?
What I've seen is that businesses tend to hire new workers at less than 30 hours. So when we have to expand, we're going to expand on a part-time basis.
Okay.
One of the other things I saw in a statistic yesterday for a slide presentation, if you go back 2 years, there were 6 full-time workers hired for every one part-time worker. That has flipped now, and such that it's 1 full-time worker is hired for every 4 part-time workers, and those are DOL statistics.
Thank you for that. Ms. Bogardus, you, in your comments a while ago, you said that if I got this right, correct me if I'm wrong here, you made the comment that your company doesn't write some groups because they may not be a related business. So in other words, you're not sure if they would fall under this rule or not, so as a result, you back away from doing that. Did I understand that correctly?
Actually, we're an insurance consulting and brokerage firm, so we see the insurance carriers doing that and refusing to write certain groups. And some of it may be the confusion among the carriers, but they're still exercising their leeway when they can to refuse to write a policy.
So even though they may technically, if they did the research and they dotted their I's, crossed their T's, may actually qualify, just the unintended consequence, just the concern about they may be in non-compliance is enough to back them away from that. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. It may be a smaller entity, a smaller subsidiary in one state, without the headquarters location, and so it could not be the location or situs for the insurance contract as a whole, and they back away from it.
Now, you work with this every day. Are all the rules promulgated now on the President's health care law?
No, sir, they are not.
Where do we have to go yet?
The rules we have currently on the very important issues of player pay, the employer mandate, were issued in early January last year. We have a lack of final guidance, a lack of guidance on industry and employee-specific issues. There are impacts and unintended consequences of the rules that have already been issued that need to be fixed and resolved. And we do not know basic information such as whether we will get transition relief for particular situations such as counting the employees for purposes of 2015. We're less than a month away from the calendar year that is most at issue, 2014, starting January 1st, and an employer needs to know. So we're lacking guidance. We're kind of operating in an area of this is what we know today, which is the case.
How can you help that company plan with the uncertainty that just sort of hangs over them with regards to not the rules aren't promulgated yet, as well as don't know the unintended consequences of what may or may not happen here?
We like to address that with a 3 to 5 year strategy, and we always have a plan B. If they change the rules in this manner, then we'll go this direction. But we advise, we do have some small business clients, but we advise many, many large employers. And I know that not every small employer has access to advisors with the level of sophistication that we would bring.
Mr. Winstanley, thank you for being here today. It's always great to have someone who deals with this on a daily basis. Ms. Baker, you as well, because you give us the real-life experience of how the consequences, unintended consequences of stuff that goes on here in Washington affects real people in the real world. How much time and how much money do you spend on compliance with this health care law? Mr. Winstanley?
It has been a very significant distraction from our business over the last couple of years. Especially as we try to ascertain where it's going to go and where things are going to land. Our administrative some of the folks that help with our administrative stuff I've spent a lot of time on it. Some of my, it takes a lot of our energy.
Ms. Baker.
I've been flooded with questions and phone calls over the last year with my clients. There's just a lot of confusion, wondering if, they have to start providing the health insurance. When would it be mandated? What do they have to do? So, I guess I've not tracked the time specifically, but it has definitely been a burden on my practice to try to answer all the questions that are out there.
And that cost and all those man hours are all borne by your business, and therefore that's not making you any money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Although they've